Michigan getting with Jackson Hill? Obviously, we saw a lot of those intangibles today. He had an open field tackle, he had the pass breakup in the end zone. I mean, you saw the speed, you saw this is elite talent.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the things that we talked about when he committed in the first place, he is a rare talent, even at a place like Michigan. I mean, I remember talking to some of the Bama guys, long-time Bama insider, who said, Nick Saban was telling Jackson Hill, you could be the best safety I've ever had. This is a guy that had Mika Fitzpatrick and Clinton Dix. And I don't think it was hyperbole. I don't think it was just just trying to get the guy. He has that kind of talent. 6'1", 190 pounds, can be 200 easy, legit sub 4.40, and hips like a corner. He could be a corner if you wanted him to be. And so, I think that he's a guy that for Don Brown and the way that he likes to play safeties, which is very unique, a lot of heavy man-to-man responsibility for his safeties. This is a guy that you can do that with and not have a problem. He can absolutely cover slots. He can cover big outside guys. And I think you saw that during the week. He's a guy that can run with anyone in the country. He can flip his hips, he turn and run with guys. And so when he gets to Michigan, I think there's a very good chance that he could be the starting safety. The interesting thing with Jackson Hill is he said he thinks long term he might be a Viper. And that puts him in the box more often. Of course, he can slide out and cover a slot. He'll be strong enough to cover tight ends. He can cover backs, and he can blitz. I think he'd be the ultimate chess piece right there. But right now, I think he's a safety. I wouldn't be surprised if he's a safety for the foreseeable future. You got other guys that can fit in at that Viper spot.
Obviously, as we wrap up coverage here this week, we saw a lot of great things from the guys. I mean, as far as moving forward, you just want to add this. Michigan's class is full, but how many spots do you think are left right now?
They're going to pursue a few other guys. They're defensive. I think they want another defensive tackle. They're still pursuing running backs, maybe. Maybe depending on how things shake out, they might look at another offensive lineman or two. I mean, there are possibilities out there. But I want to close out with talking a little bit more about Jackson Hill and another thing he said that was very interesting. One of the things that led him back to Michigan was he said the way that the coaches and the players responded when he decommitted. He said that he understood at that point how supportive they were. Them saying that, wishing him well, wanting him back at Michigan, but hey, you know what, you got to do what's best for you. That told him that they were genuine, that they were really there for him. That was a big deal. He said that was a big deal in me coming back. So when we came back, he decommitted on a Saturday. When we came back on Monday, when I came back on Monday and put out a report, say, hey, you know what, pump your brakes, throughout the Aubrey Solomon comparison, I was doing that because he had already recommitted. Couldn't say that because Daxton wanted it under wraps. He didn't want it out there that he recommitted. He didn't want to hear from Bama and Nick Saban and all those guys, recruiting him hard all over. He didn't want that. So had to respect it, had to keep it quiet that he had recommitted, but trying to tell people that, look, relax. This is not dire straits for Michigan. And you kept seeing people talk about, hey, well, he might come back, and percentages, it looks 50-50, 60-40. There were no percentages. There was nothing that was developing after that Monday. He was recommitted 2 days after he decommitted. It was just about keeping it quiet, which is why we were talking to the fans saying, hey, look, don't get bent out of shape. Don't go at Dax the way that you go at a lot of these recruits online, because he's paying attention to that, and he certainly paid attention to it with his teammates and coaches. The way they reacted was really what saved the day as far as Michigan is concerned. That, and his heart was always at Michigan in the first one.
Well, Sam, that's going to wrap up our coverage here from the All-American Bowl here in San Antonio. It's been a pleasure, and look for all our coverage and more on the MichiganInsider.com.